All right, so if you can see my screen here, this right here is Marathon, Classic Marathon. Okay, this was released, I believe, last year, towards the end of last year, before Marathon, the new game, came out. Typed it in on Google to make sure. Yeah, the whole trilogy that was originally created by Bungie several years ago now is free. Marathon, Classic Marathon, and the other two games in the series, it's all free, right, on Steam. Hold on a second. Before I even say what I'm about to say in just a moment, I didn't Google this. In just a moment, I'm about to say something completely uninformed. Like, I should have looked this up on Google beforehand. I don't know why I didn't do this, but I'm glad I did. Future me to the rescue. Here we go. So let's go over this real quick. Bungie released the Classic Marathon trilogy for free because the games were no longer commercially viable, leading to their transition into open source software and freeware. All right, so the engine was open sourced in 1999 to allow community maintenance, and the game data files were released as freeware in 2005 for the community to distribute. Okay, so the community, I believe Aleph One is the name of the group of the community who was working on this game for years, and they released it, the whole trilogy. So let me see here. Engine open sourcing 1999 to 2000. All right, then it says here the freeware transition was 2005, and then the Steam launch was 2024. I said last year, it was 2024. Holy crap, it's been 2 years already? I thought that happened last year. Oh my god, time doesn't exist. Time does not exist. What happened? Yeah, I had to say this because, yeah, I'm about to say something stupid because I didn't bother to use Google, and I really should should have just done research. What am I doing? I should have done the research. I don't know what I was thinking. Let me just continue. Well, wait, which way am I? Am I here? Am I over here? Future me, you know. Okay, this is, I'm gonna go now. But like, it makes no sense considering how Bungie, Sony, just like these companies just want nothing but money at the end of the day. Their businesses, sometimes they make greedy ass decisions, right? But you would think that they would sell each game for at least like $3-4. No, they just said, just take the whole series, okay? I'm not complaining about free video game. However, then it also brings up another issue. Like, did they know Marathon wasn't gonna hit? They knew, right? They had to know, right? When you make a video game that's single player, right? And then you try to turn it into a multiplayer game in a niche that a lot of people don't really like, player versus player, intense player versus player, not just like your regular, oh, we're just gonna fight in a few matches, have fun. No. This is like, if you die, you die. Give the other player your shit. You're done. Start over, right? It's harsh. It's harsh gameplay when you don't know what you're doing. And even when you do know what you're doing, it's intense, but like, it's still pretty damn harsh, right? Like that style of gameplay. I'm coming from Division 1 and 2, okay? I remember what the Dark Zone was like in Division 1. Those are some of the best moments in gaming I've ever had, bro. I miss Division so much. I'm playing it right now, but Division 2. But Division 1 hit different. If you know, you know. If you were there on Division Day 1, you know what I'm talking about, bro. You know. Man, I stood in that line. Everybody was like, yeah, when they got their copy from the store. I'll never forget that shit, man. Those were good times. Anyway, oh shit, I'm going back in time now. Let me not do that. That's just gonna upset me. Announcing Marathon and then announcing that it was going to be a game of this nature, they had to have known that this was not gonna go well. Like, the player numbers do not match what they wanted. We know it doesn't, right? Because Destiny is their other game. And I stopped playing Destiny. I actually gave up on Destiny the moment that I heard that Cade got fucking killed. The moment I saw that shit, I watched that scene and I said, I'm glad I left. Fuck this. You know how long ago that was? By the way, do you know how long ago it was that DLC released, that story released? If I remember correctly, Bungie locked away a lot of the story missions through the DLC expansions, right? And then later they allowed you to play the story of these expansions, if I remember correctly. Please, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. My timeline for Destiny is all over the place. I don't remember too much. I just remember hearing about Destiny every now and again. I would watch a video just to see where the game is going, and then I would just not play it. I stopped playing that shit before it became free to play. I'm not joking. I stopped playing Destiny before they started making it free to play. I have no interest in coming back to Destiny at all. Like if I did, it would probably be fun for like about a week. Like I'm sure it would. And then I'd start seeing all the problems I hated, like, you know, the monetization and stuff. Like, love or hate Destiny, that game had so many expansions that cost so much fucking money. Do you know how much money some of y'all have spent on Destiny alone? I don't know if there's anybody that spent $10,000 on Destiny, bro. Just like everything related to Destiny. There's gotta be one person who is the biggest Destiny fan of all time. I mean, shout out to you, because like that's dedication for real. It really is dedication. You're still playing the game. Holy shit. I don't know how you're doing it. I don't know how you're doing it, but shit, you're better than me. I was done. I was done at year 1.5. Bungie needs to do better than this. There's no way. There's no way they couldn't have added in a player versus enemy mode for Marathon. I refuse to believe they couldn't have done that. Like, what the fuck? Bungie is known for making Halo. Before you defend Bungie real quick, I just need you to think. They created Halo. Motherfucking Halo. You know how many game modes that fucking shit has? Go play Halo 3. Load that shit up. I dare you, load that shit up. You'll be like, how many game modes does this game need? Like, what the fuck? And you mean to tell me that they couldn't have had the fucking foresight? Is that the right word? The foresight? They couldn't see into the fucking future and go like, maybe people might want to play the story too. Because we bothered to fucking talk about it as if it was important. It's in the main cutscene of the game talking about humans in space and shit. People uploading their consciousness into robots to go out in the fucking world and start exploring and trying not to die from other people that are doing the same exact thing. What the fuck? Like, I think I need to be able to walk around the world and read some of the graffiti on the fucking wall telling me like, don't turn this way because there's lore around the corner, and then I go around the corner and I get sniped. I didn't get to fucking see what was gonna be around the corner if I went down that hallway because somebody fucking killed me and took my shit. I haven't seen too many lore videos talking about Marathon, and maybe that's why. Maybe it's because all the lore is in the classic games, the 3 games, the trilogy. Maybe that's why they released the first 3 games for free on Steam. Maybe that's why they did that, because they knew like you're not gonna have time to fucking read the walls and shit and like open up a terminal and read what's in it. You have to run for your life because somebody's eventually gonna find you in that room and try to fight you for your shit, which is also, in my opinion, kind of shitty. Design wise, that's kind of ass. I'm not gonna lie. Like, why bother even talking about lore at all? In fact, who's actually playing Marathon for the lore right now? If you are, that's good. That's awesome. But if you're not, like, do you have any interest in the lore at all? Or are you just gonna play the original trilogy and just find it there and then come back to Marathon? Or do you even care at all? You're just gonna play Marathon just because it looks cool? I don't know. Like, please, like, comment down below, tell me. But like, going back to Bungie, they had to have known this game was not gonna do well, just like from the very fucking beginning, and they just released it anyway because Sony has this obsession with live service games. Well, Sony, let me just read your future for a fucking second. Horizon's probably gonna fail too, which is a damn shame because, like, you know, it's not like the game looks like it's gonna be bad. It's just that people don't like the character design, and I don't think people hate the artwork design, like, you know, the art style. I don't think anybody hates that. They just don't like the character designs. If those changed, then like, I'm pretty sure more people would like it. That's a damn shame. Anyway, that game's not gonna do well. And then what other games does Sony want to make? Like, what are they fucking doing at Sony over there, bro? Like, almost every single game that Sony has announced going to be part of their live service shit has failed. Almost every single one. But you know what would have actually done well? I'm gonna put it up on the screen. Maybe I'll make a whole nother video ranting about that for about 5 to 10 minutes because it needs to be said. Last of Us Factions was the only live service that Sony needed. They didn't need any of this other shit. Horizon didn't need to be made either. They could have just made Horizon 3 and ended that series. Like, I'm looking forward to Horizon 3. I need to play that shit to finish the goddamn story, and I can't do it because they're focused on making a live service game. Oh my fucking god, millions, hundreds of millions of dollars wasted, bro. Oh, did you pass some of that money my way, dog? Damn. Fucking, let's commit to wasting hundreds of millions, no, I'm sorry, billions of dollars on shit. Just casually, let's just fucking fuck our reputation up. And then increase the prices, of course, right? Because that's gonna help. ooh, that's gonna fucking help. That's gonna save the day. Like, as an outsider looking at Marathon, I don't want the game to fail at all. In fact, like, I want it to succeed. I actually do want it to somehow make a comeback. Maybe they can add in the player versus enemy mode, so the enemies would just be, I don't know, just like the robots that you see out in the world, and also what would be the other players controlled by AI, you know? Like, and it just gets more advanced depending on what difficulty you want to play at. But the main focus would be experiencing the story of the game. I don't know how much you would have to program to do that shit, but I feel like it's possible because I know they got the budget to do it. This is Bungie, this is Sony. They're gonna have to figure something out. They have to figure something out, because what the fuck else are they gonna do? Just let the game slowly die out? Because at some point, people are gonna get sick and tired of playing the game if nothing changes at all, right? That's usually how that works, right? It's like, most people don't even want to play a game like this anyway. They would rather play a game where they can play it casually and then work on building their skill to play the game competitively. You don't just make a full-on competitive game and when your whole entire history of making video games have been like for the casual audience that eventually gets good enough to be competitive, like Halo. You go from a game like Halo that has tons of different modes, casual to competitive, and people that are casual can eventually become competitive. Then you had Destiny, the same thing. You start off really casual and then you work your way to become competitive in that game. But then also there's layers to that, because there's a lot of player versus enemy gameplay. There's story, there's like exploration, there's missions. You can join up with like several people. Like, it was a whole community. How do you go from there and then over here to just like a full-on game where nobody wants to fucking play? How the fuck do you do that shit? That don't make no fucking sense. Bungie, I hope y'all figure that shit out, man. I really do. I hope that all the Bungie fans don't get disappointed by Marathon at the end of the day, man. I hope that all the Marathon players don't get disappointed either. I hope they don't just shut down this game in the next like 6 months. I'm praying they don't do that. I hope they figure something out, because they don't have a lot of time. Because within the next year, if nothing changes, dude, I don't know. Like, Bungie would be in trouble too, because we live in a timeline where if one game doesn't do well, the studio shuts down. I don't mean to speak that into the universe, I know, but like, that's a possibility, okay? Like, we live in a timeline where that can happen, because this game that was set up for failure, clearly set up for failure, just fails. Like, what do you do with that? But that's all on Sony. I hope they don't do that shit. Because if they do, I don't know, man. I don't think they survive in something like that. If something happens to Bungie, Sony is fucked. Because ain't nobody trusting them after that if they did that. But that's worst case scenario. I doubt they're gonna do it, but that's worst case scenario. All right, but that's it for the video. I'm done talking about this. Leave a comment down below if you enjoy Marathon, you enjoy Destiny and Marathon, Halo, all that shit. If you like Bungie games, comment down below. Just tell me what you think about Marathon if you're playing it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. That'd be awesome. Like the video as well. Share it around. Feel free to do that. That'd be cool. And I'll see you next time. Take care of yourselves. Peace. I really shouldn't have talked about Bungie shutting down. Oh, fuck. I hope I didn't actually curse everybody with that one. That's crazy.